So my time here in the studio is almost done for another week, and it's a hard time for me when we get close to me having to go home, because this is where I want to be every day, all day. This is where my heart is every day, all day in my head. And this is what I work for all week. This is what I wait for, is to get back here and paint. I used to paint in my apartment, but I live in an attic apartment, like third floor attic apartment. And you can't, there's not enough room to pick up canvases. There's also not electricity and light in a couple of the rooms. And I have crazy ass neighbors who are constantly screaming. So it's a typical tenement building, and I just can't paint there. It's not conducive. So I set up shop at this studio, at the shared studio, and we just do the best we can. And this weekend, in the past 24 hours, I managed to get a few things done. Not as much as I would like. I never get as much done as I would like. And I do get sad that I can't just stay here. But that's just the way it is, and it has been for a while now. So we won't talk about it. We'll just focus on this. One of the things I got done this weekend, or I got a little bit further, is this portrait of Vidal and Complete Destruction. And these are two fellows who do drag here in Providence. And I saw their picture and just fell in love with it. I asked if I could paint them, and they said sure. And so what I decided to do was a two-panel piece. They work independently. They don't have to work together, because what I'm going to do is give them images of this, of each of their portraits, that they can either merge and use as one project, for whatever they want, or they can print them on their own, or they can do whatever they want. They're not getting the original paintings. They'll get images, though, and that way they can print them, and I think I'm talking too much. Anyway, this weekend I decided to take Vidal's face. I moved it up about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Actually, I did that today. He was just too low down. It wasn't working. It was throwing the whole painting on. So I pushed his head up a little bit, pushed his arm up a little bit, elongated this. And, these two arms, they're connected arms and hands, are a little exaggerated. They're longer than I would have liked. When I was originally laying it out, I set them apart too far. But I'm not going to worry about it at this point. I'm not rearranging both the canvases. It's going to turn into a convoluted mess if I do that. So I'm going to leave them as is. I did push their arms in a bit, but that's it. I always exaggerate the hands in my paintings. I always exaggerate the faces in my paintings. And these boys are so thin, and I'm jealous that they can have thin, long arms. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. And what I'm working on right now, before I have to clean up and go, are their clasped hands. I love their clasped hands. In the photograph that I'm working from, they're posing together. They've got they've got this really dramatic little hold. And I love that sisterhood in this. It's not a relationship that I have with anyone. And so I see it, and I'm a little jealous, and I love it. So I've got this big, strong sisterhood clasp here, and I don't mean it to make fun of them. I'm not laughing at them. I'm not exaggerating it so I can laugh at these boys in drag. I'm genuinely jealous, and I wish I had that, but I don't. And I love it. How many of us get to enjoy a friendship that deep, or a kinship with anyone that's that deep? I just think it's wonderful. So that's what I've been working on today, and I'm going to hopefully get this a little bit further along before I have to clean up and go home. I've thought about moving my studio or some of my paints home back to the apartment, but the ceiling is caving in. There's no lights in one of the rooms. There's bats. It's a train wreck. And then again, living in this attic, I can't lift anything up. So I've got to keep everything here, and I've just got to hang in there and be patient. Hopefully just a little bit longer while they build a good work for me. I've been waiting 6-7 months. I've just got my fingers crossed that it happens soon. Because I'm going to lose my mind otherwise. Anyway, time to get back to work.